good evening. It's Thursday at 7:30. This is Over and Over the Arsenal Women's Channel. This is Richard Andreas's AWFC show. It's been a bit of a disturbing week, hasn't it, in the world? And sometimes it's easy to lose faith in humanity with things that's gone on, especially in the last 24 hours or so. But we are here to try and restore a little bit of faith. We have got the opening weekend of the WSL season to look back on. An exciting start it was as well, wasn't it? So we're going to look at that. We've got a big game, of course, tomorrow on Friday against West Ham. Game day number 2 in the WSL. Can we continue our good start to the season? We'll find out. And, of course, there's bound to be other news and stuff to talk about as well. So if you've got any comments, any questions for us, please drop them in the chat, of course, and we'll go through that as well. And it's all coming up the other side of this. So, good evening, of course. Welcome to the Lord himself, Lord Andreas. How are you?
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Yeah, I caught a nasty cold, so I'm not really good. But, well, the show will help me to concentrate on other things, not on my running nose or my sore throat. Yeah, looking forward to this show.
Yeah, it's obviously a shame that you've caught the virus that everybody seems to be getting at the minute. But anyway, I'm sure you'll battle on. It's made me cough just thinking about it. And of course, if you haven't watched the vlog, of course, from the London City Lionesses game, you do need to watch it. Definitely check it out. It is fantastic, as always. Some very special guest appearances as well from 1 or 2 familiar faces. So you definitely want to get involved in that. It's fantastic. So check that out as well, of course. And talking about the London City Lionesses game, where else could we possibly start the show? So London City Lionesses then, first game of the season, of course, at the Emirates. It was a sunny day. It was a big crowd. And in the end, we got the job done. In the end, it was quite comfortable, but for a while, it was looking a little bit less comfortable, wasn't it? The first 15, 20 minutes or so. In typical Arsenal fashion, we started quite slowly. And some of the things that we spoke about on the show last week about transition of the ball, when we lose possession, we can be caught out. And that happened a couple of times, didn't it? In the early stages of the game in particular. We went behind, of course, with a penalty. But what good teams do, what great teams do, what potential champions do is they find a way to come back into it. And we cannot talk about this game without talking about the debutant on her first appearance for Arsenal, Olivia Smith, a player we've raved about long enough on this channel over the last year or so. And what an incredible impact she had, and what a goal. Not just the quality of the goal, which was outstanding. It will be one of the goals of the season on the opening weekend. That's how good it was. It was more about how it shifted the momentum in the game, because we wasn't really getting going at that point. We were 1-0 down. We were struggling to really create chances, get into the game, and suddenly out of nothing, Olivia Smith has produced a moment of magic, and that's what you need in games like this. And it completely turned the game. And after that, everything was lifted. The crowd was lifted. The players were lifted. And suddenly we went from looking fairly average to looking a very, very good side, particularly in the second half, which we'll come on to. But I mean, Andreas, Olivia Smith, what a debut.
Yeah, you couldn't start your journey at a new club better than this. And as you said, the first 20 minutes, I think we were sloppy in passing, in defense. We were rusty in the first game, but we had no control over the midfield. And so my feeling was the first 20 minutes, LCL was dominating the game. And yeah, I was thinking, or I had the feeling, if one team will score now, then it will be London City. And of course, they needed a penalty for this, but they were the dominating team for the first 20 minutes. I don't know what happened. Were we so surprised about their pressing, or whatever. And then after the penalty, we had the pressure to come into the game, and finally we found our feet in the game. And the goal from Olivia was fantastic. Not only the shooting, but also how she kept the ball, and then she saw the space, or she found the space, saw the space, and and she did what she did very often at Liverpool. She's shooting from outside the box, and it was a fantastic strike, and this changed everything. The atmosphere in the stadium, the confidence of the players, everybody was from this moment on believing, we will turn it around. And and that's, I think, even it had an influence even on the LCL players, because being 1-0 up was fantastic for them. They only had to defend, and then we'll take surprising 3 points. But after this goal, everybody felt Arsenal will turn it around. And if London City want to take something out of the Emirates, they have to at least score a second goal. But the longer the match goes, Arsenal will score again. Unfortunately, we did with the stroke of halftime.
Yeah, and Chloe Kelly, building on what she did in the summer, of course, with another finish from, I mean, it was a good goal, actually, well worked. Yes, it was a mistake from the London City, but, you know, what you've got to do is when a team that's defended well up to that point makes a mistake, you've got to punish them. And that's what separates the great teams from the good teams. And that's what we did. And it was lovely, lovely stuff from obviously Leslie Russo. And, Chloe Kelly arrived just at the right time to tuck it in the corner. And obviously then I felt then that was such an important goal right on half time. And I never felt after that we were in any danger of not winning that game. You know, while it was 1-0 to London, while it was 1-1 even, it was a little bit nervy thinking, well, you know, we've still got work to do. But as soon as that goal went in from Chloe Kelly, I just relaxed and thought, we've won this game. It was just going to be a matter of how many would we win it by in the end. And, the second half went pretty well in overall, and we got it done. But, that was an important goal at an important time. And again, I know we spoke last week, didn't we, about maybe we hadn't signed enough defenders or we haven't signed enough midfield players. And then we were talking about how great attacking options we've got and what great attacking players we've got. And I think that goal, in fact, those first 2 goals in the first half summed that up really. Olivia Smith with her individuality, making a goal out of nothing, and then superb combination play between 2 of our Lioness players that play together so often and know each other's game. And that's the quality that we've got. And that, I think, is going to be so important as the season goes on, because there's going to be games like this one against teams that are maybe stronger than London City are, and we need to find a way to win. And we managed to do it, and you could see the quality that we had in the end was far too strong, and it's going to be too strong, hopefully, for a lot of teams. But that goal, it was a great goal, I thought, really well created and well taken, and such an important time of the game as well. And I think we knew then pretty much that it would have been a massive shock at that point if we hadn't won that game from that position at half time. And of course, we did. Joe says, hang on, I'll get that comment up. Oh, sorry. Says, good evening. I feel like a long time since I've caught a live show. Well, I mean, it was only last week that we've had a live show since the end of last season. So, it probably would be a long time if you wasn't here last week. Greg Rivers, of course, says, evening, Richard, Andreas, all in the chat. A good start to the season. Well, it was. But it was a good start to the season before the game because you popped up in the vlog. So, that makes it a good start to the season. Makes it a good start to any game. And Greg also says there, Katie Reid had a great game. Now, that's the thing as well. I did want to talk about that because obviously she made a bad mistake for the penalty. Her inexperience showed, didn't it? She did really well, first of all, won the first tackle, and maybe it went to her head of it. She thought she could win the second one when she had no chance of winning it. She just had to stand up and defend, and she didn't. She made a mistake. It was a penalty. But it would have been so easy for her to have lost her head, particularly as, she didn't have Leah Williamson alongside her to guide her. She didn't even have experience in maybe Lotta Ruben-Moy or someone like that alongside her to guide her. But the rest of the game, I don't think she made another mistake. I thought she was faultless. The defending was brilliant. Her tackling was brilliant. She was great on the ball. She was a threat at the other end from corners. Every corner seemed to land on her head. And I thought that showed we've said on this show before how much of a great prospect we think she is. You know, we think she can be the next Leah Williamson, following her footsteps. And I thought that performance was so mature from her, because I say making that early mistake. You know, there was in the chat when I was doing the show, there was quite a lot of criticism for Katie at that point, saying, "Oh, why are we playing a teenager in this game? You know, why isn't Lotta playing?" and all things like that, right? And at the time, you can think, okay, but I said it at the time, and I'll say it again now, that when you're a young player in particular, you're going to make a mistake, especially if you're a defender. You're going to make mistakes. No one is not going to make a mistake. The best players in the world make mistakes. But what's important is if you learn from that and you don't let it affect the rest of your game. And she didn't do that. And that's such a great thing to me. That shows great character, and it shows that for me, she's got everything to go to the very top of the game. And I would be amazed if she isn't in the England squad at some stage in the very near future. And eventually, if she isn't following in Leah Williamson's footsteps, I can see her being captain of Arsenal. I can see her being captain of England in the future. She's got that about her, I think. And that was so impressive. I mean, Andreas, I suppose in the stadium, there must have been a few murmurs of discontent when the penalty, when obviously, you know, Katie making that mistake, and Lotta sitting on the bench thinking, you know, the more experienced player probably wouldn't have given away that penalty. But what a response from Katie, incredible.
Yeah. All in all, she had a really great game. And of course, like everybody else, I was surprised to see her in the lineup. But then in the first 15, 20 minutes, she was good. She didn't make any mistakes. And you could see she's integrated in the defense line. Yeah, it was not that you have to avoid passing to her. No, she's confident. She's standing there, and the tackle before the penalty was a brilliant tackle, and the second tackle was avoidable, and due to lack of experience, I think she must stay away and not tackle again. But as you said, she learned from this, and my first thought was, hopefully Renee will not sub her off now after this mistake. This would have destroyed her confidence for the next months or so. But after this scene, she didn't put any a foot wrong. She was just brilliant and confident, and her strength is not only her height, her aerial strength, but she's also very fast. And there were a few duels against Goodwin, and Katie was always on top, and no mistake from her. I think she had a very good game, and it was very important for her to play in a competitive WSL match and to play 90 minutes. Therefore, also thumbs up to Renee for not subbing her off, not after the mistake, after the penalty, and not at halftime. Just showing, I trust you, continue how you played, and you're doing a good job. And this gave her more confidence in the second half. And as I said, nothing to complain about. Was really good performance, and I wouldn't be surprised if she's starting tomorrow again.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I know Olivia Smith caught the attention with the goal and one or two other individual moments, but I thought personally I would have voted Katie Reid player of the match, because I thought she was magnificent. Honestly, I thought she was brilliant. And, you know, I've got nothing against Olivia winning player of the match, because she was great as well. But I just thought her performance was so mature for someone so young, and, you know, and in such an important match as well. And yeah, you have to say, I thought, she was brilliant. And I agree. I think she will start tomorrow. I think it'll be. I don't expect there to be any changes to the team tomorrow. You know, Renee's already said that everybody's fit apart from Leah Williamson, so I wouldn't expect there to be too many changes at all. But yeah, obviously we'll get on to tomorrow's game a bit later. LG says, I watched Olivia Smith for the first time when Liverpool played City at Anfield last October. Despite her playing only 45 minutes, I've seen enough. I wanted her at Arsenal. Yeah, I think we all kind of felt the same. Ags with us as well. Good evening, England. Thank you for joining us. LG says Liver's added a whole new dimension to our team. We never shoot outside the box. Well, no, you're right. And when games are tight like that, sometimes you just need someone to hammer. Exactly, yeah. And I think that's, people might say, oh, the record transfer fee and all that kind of stuff, but that's because she's a player that can do that. She's a player that when you need a goal out of nowhere, as we saw on Saturday, she's the one player that can produce that. And you're right, we don't really have players who, I think Mariona can produce magic moments, but even Mariona didn't score too many goals from outside the box with a goal like that last season. So I think you're right, and I think that match winners are you can't have too many match winners in your squad, and we've got a lot of match winners, and we've got match winners that are a different type of match winners. You've got Chloe Kelly, who's a different type of player. You've got Leslie Russo, obviously, and then now we've got Olivia Smith, and also on the bench we've got players like obviously Stina came on and got a goal, Frida came on and got a goal, Beth Mead came on and had 2 assists. This is what we've got, and these are all match winning players, and they're all going to play different roles in the team. But we've got nobody else like Olivia Smith, nobody like her that can do what she can do. And that's what makes her such an important player. And I think if we can keep her fit and if we can keep her healthy and in the team, I think she's going to be the difference maker between us maybe coming short again or being able to get over the line. She's the type of player that can make that big difference, because she'll be the one in those big tight games, as you said, that can suddenly out of nowhere produce something magical, whether it's score a goal, create a goal, just do something incredible that changes a game. And she's already done it in her first game, and let's hope we'll see a lot more of that, and I'm sure we will, because she's an exciting player, and she's just fantastic, there's no doubt. Greg says, after we scored the first goal, we never looked like conceding again. No, we didn't. It looked comfortable, didn't it, after that first goal? But I thought the second goal just before half time, that was when I knew we would win that game. I didn't doubt it at all after that goal. 2-1 up at half time. I think there's no way London are coming out in the second half and getting back into this. And I fully expected us to win pretty comfortably in the end, which we did. In the second half was a great performance. Joe says what I loved about this game was that we had to guess how London City Lionesses would play, but we figured out how to dominate as we went along. Seeing players have the trust in Renee to make decisions is so refreshing. Absolutely, yeah. LG says Arteta would have bench Liv like he did with Eze. That's the difference. No, exactly. And it's playing with freedom, isn't it? And Olivia Smith is a player that if you've got her in your squad, you can't say to her, I want you to play in this structure of the team and do the work for the team. No, you've got to say to Olivia Smith, go out there and do your thing. And I agree with you with Eze, with the men's team, exactly the same. You've got to say to him, go out and do your thing. Don't worry about anything else. We want to see you on the ball. We want to see you creating magic. And that's the difference. And you're right. And that's the biggest difference for me between the women's team and the men's team right now, is the women's team play with freedom. They can express themselves and look at the performances, look at the football we're playing. Another 4 goals at home. How many is that? 6, 7, 8, 9 in a row now? I don't even know how many it is since we didn't score that many goals in a home game. That's incredible, isn't it? And that is down to the manager as much as anything else. The way she wants the players to play. And the trust as well. I think we mentioned trust before. The trust that the players have got in what Renee wants them to do. And you can clearly see that, the way that they've been playing. It's brilliant to see, actually. YouTube Censors Our Free Speech says, our season comes down to 2 games, Chelsea at home and away. In a way it does. I think so. I agree with that. But if you remember, a few years ago, we got 4 points out of 6 against Chelsea, but we lost to Birmingham. And we drew Tottenham, for example. So those 2 games are important, and we need to get as many points as we can from them. But we can't afford to drop points in daft games like we've had a habit of doing in the last few seasons. So, they are important, and they are going to matter, but it's also important we keep our concentration in the lesser games where sometimes we maybe lost that concentration and lost points that we shouldn't have done. It's all important. Every game is important, let's be honest. We can't afford to take any game lightly. We have to be on the ball every single week, and it's tough. It's going to be tough to win the WSL. It is going to be tough. Chelsea are a great team. There's other great teams in the league this year as well. Man City have improved. Man United have improved. But we just have to focus on us. And if we keep our concentration, we keep our consistency, and we know we've got the quality. We know we have. The squad's incredible. Matthew says, hello, Richard, Andreas. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. LG says, since we have a height issue in our squad, maybe it's the reason Reed started. Yeah, maybe. I'm not saying that wasn't a reason. It's probably part of it, but I think the reason was because Renee would have seen in training that Katie was ready. She was ready to step in and play. And she would have seen that in training, and she's put her faith in her and her trust in her. So yeah, maybe the height was a thing, because every single corner seemed to be aimed to Katie's head, didn't it? Every single one we had in the whole game, she seemed to get on the end of all of them. So maybe that was part of it as well. But I think she's just proved herself in training. I think she's shown that she's ready, and she proved it in the match. She is ready, and it's going to be difficult to leave her out of the team, isn't it? And I can see actually when Leah Williamson's fit, if Katie keeps playing the way she is, I can actually see a centre-back partnership of Katie and Leah. I can actually see that being our centre-back partnership later in the season. I can see that happening. Not in every game, but I can see it being something that happens. Matthew says, I prefer Reed over Lotta. I said that during the game. She seems better on the ball. Yeah, I think she's... I don't know if she's better on the ball. I mean, I think Lotta's a great player as well. Katie's just got that calmness for me. Lotta can be a little bit... we said it before, she loses concentration sometimes, and she can be a bit rash with decision making. Okay, Katie made one rash decision for the penalty, but overall that's not really what she's about. She's very calm, she's very cool, she doesn't get flustered. She's great one-on-one defending, probably better than Lotta at that, but Lotta's got the experience. It's a tough one, isn't it, I suppose? And if Lotta's fit to play, then it's a tough decision. I mean, it's going to be tough to leave Katie out now, isn't it? After that game in particular, I think she's. Oh, what's happened here? Andreas has disappeared. That's not. What's happened here? Where's Andreas gone? Andreas has gone. I'm sure he'll be back in a minute. But yeah, no, I think that Katie has made her point without a shadow of a doubt, and I'm sure she will. I'm sure she'll stay in the team, certainly for the next few games. Ag says, yes, Stina and Frida, indeed. Stina and Frida, we'll talk about them in a minute, of course. The super subs, actually, aren't they? Terry says, good evening, Richard and Lordy Lord and all in the chat. What a load of rubbish we produced on Saturday, but I wouldn't say it's a load of rubbish. Oh, Andreas is back with us. Good stuff. I don't know what happened there. You seem to disappear. But anyway, you're back. That's the main thing. So obviously, Aggie's talking about Stina and Frida, of course, the super subs, as it turned out in this particular game, come off the bench and both scored. I mean, Stina looked hungry, didn't she, when she came on? She straight away, you thought, wow, she's up for this game, Stina. Is she trying to prove a point? Is she wanting? Obviously, she wants more minutes on the pitch. But once again, Stina off the bench and got a goal and played a big part in the fourth goal as well, didn't she? Winning the ball and crossing it in for Beth. I mean, what did you make of that then? Did you think Stina does deserve more minutes on the pitch, doesn't she? She deserves to start more games than she does. And I know Russo's difficult to leave out, but every time Stina's impact is amazing, isn't it? Once again.
Yeah, but I think she knows her role in the team. She is the sub 9. Leslie is our striker 9. Everybody knows this. Stina had one of her best games. She was not only making runs, what's normally her strength, but also she kept the ball, and I think she was part of creating chances, and that's different from what I saw last season from her. I think she had one of her better performances, and all the subs had an impact, and everybody who said we should have sold Beth Mead to LCL, well, she comes on, and she has 2 assists, and she was really strong. And the link up between Frida and Stina and Beth and Stina was very good. And not many teams have such a good bench and can react and change things, bringing on such subs as we did last Saturday. So everybody was very good, and it reminded me of Emma Hayes 2 seasons ago when she said she has a starting 11 and a finishing 11. And for us on Saturday, our finishing 11 was also very, very important. And with 2-1, of course, we looked as if we will win the game, but you have to score one more at least to be on the safe side. And that's what we did. We scored a third and a fourth, and when you see all the chances, we should have won 6 or 7-1, and nobody would have said anything against it. It was just a brilliant second half from the whole team, from the subs. And you asked for Stina. Yes, it was one of her better performances, not only in scoring goals, but the way she played.
And to be honest, I've noticed that whether it's to do with Kelly Smith working with you'd imagine she's working with the strikers and stuff a bit, but I've noticed last season as well that Stina's all-round game has really improved. You know, when she first joined, I mean, I always thought, you know, she was very good at what she did. She's got pace in behind, she can finish, and she's always that threat. But I think her all-round play, and whether it's maybe training with Leslie Russo as well, her hold-up play's improved. When she's got her back to goal, she's better now than she was. Her link-up play's much better. And yeah, she's not only is she still getting into good positions and scoring goals, she's also now helping to create chances for other players. I saw that it went in the Euros for Sweden as well. You know, she scored a few goals, she created some chances, and I think although she's quite an experienced player now. She's played a lot of games, she's scored a lot of goals in her career. But I actually think she's a better player now than she's ever been. I think her all-round game has just improved so much, and it must be frustrating for her, and it's certainly frustrating for me, knowing that she's not going to start many games and she's not going to get as many minutes as I think she deserves. She would, I think, even maybe, I don't know if we can consider Chelsea in it, maybe Man City with Bunny Shaw, but I think Stina starts virtually every other team. She starts every single week at every other team, not just in England, but I think throughout Europe. I know there's many teams in Europe that if she was there, she wouldn't start nearly every single game. She'd be the main striker pretty much everywhere. And it's a shame for her in a way that she doesn't got that same kind of sort of place at Arsenal, but she knows what her role is clearly, and she's embracing it, because every time she comes on, she's making a difference, and yeah, it's great that she's still here, because I was a bit worried she didn't play in pre-season. I'm thinking, is this the end for Stina? Is she off? But I'm glad she isn't. This might well be her last season, as it turns out, because I think her contract's up next summer, isn't it? So she will probably leave then, I would imagine. But let's enjoy her while we still can, because I think there's still some great moments to come this season from Stina, and already she's got a goal on the board in the very, very first game, so that's always good, isn't it? LG says it's pretty obvious now that Renee doesn't rate KCC. I don't know. It's a strange one, that, isn't it? Because I thought, she started last season well, KCC, didn't she? She had some really good games, and then towards the end of the season, she didn't really get picked very much. She was on the bench a lot, came on a few times, didn't come on. She didn't come on at all on Saturday, did she? She didn't come off the bench, and no. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. I mean, what do you think it is? Do you think it is that Renee doesn't rate her, or do you think there's some other issue going on? Because she should be certainly playing more minutes than what she is.
Yeah. I must say, when I saw the lineup, I really felt sorry for Kyra, because she made all the preseason games. She was in the starting 11 for all our preseason games. She was good, and I think she knows that this is her chance now that Leah Welty has gone. And in an interview, she said. She had a talk or discussion with Renee, and Renee said to her, "It's your shirt, the number 6 now. You have to grab it." And then the first WSL match day, and she's on the bench and doesn't even come on as a sub. I really felt sad or sorry for her, and I think she deserves more minutes. What we said about Katie Reed, the same for Kyra. If you don't play her, she can't improve. She can't develop or get better by sitting on the bench. I hope she will play tomorrow. And of course, the double pivot with Mariona and Kimi. That's the lineup brought the success in Champions League last season. But we all know Kim Little can't play every game, and for Mariona, playing so deep is not her best position, I think. So give Kyra a chance. Let her play as a holding midfielder, as a number 6. And of course, let her make mistakes, and she will learn from it. And then I'm convinced that she could be an important player for us in this season. But if you don't play her, I see a problem in the winter window. She will say, send me out on loan if I don't get minutes here, or she will say, I have offers from other clubs in Europe. and she's such a talented and good player. Her strength is the through balls, the passes. Of course, she has her weakness in defending, but she can be important in another way. As I said, her passes, her playing forward, her through balls. This could be important for us too. And we can't rely on the double pivot of Mariona and Kimi for every game. So I really hope she will get minutes, and hopefully tomorrow.
Yeah, I think she will get minutes. It's just I don't think she's. Yeah, maybe Rene doesn't quite trust her. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Is it her defensive work that's not there? I mean, I thought Vicky Pelova had a good game on Saturday as well in that midfield. I thought she took on that responsibility well. But yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with Kyra, and it would be a shame if we lost her because she's got over 50 caps for Australia. She's played more times for Australia than she's played for Arsenal. And it's incredible really when you think how many more games Arsenal have compared to Australia. But obviously, her national coach trusts her to play her as often as she does, and it's an issue that needs to be resolved because I think she is a great player, and I think she's an important player to have in the squad and in the team. But if she's not going to get minutes, she's like you said, she's going to want to go somewhere else, isn't she? Because she's not going to keep getting picked for Australia if she's not on the pitch for Arsenal, is she? So she's got to think about that as well. So yeah, something needs to happen with that. We don't know what's going on. To be fair, is there some other issues behind the scenes we don't know about? I mean, Kyra seems happy when you see her in training and when she's around. She looks like she's okay with it all, but I don't know. So obviously, she needs to play more minutes, and yeah, Rene's she's got to sort that out, hasn't she? However, she to get the right resolution so that we can keep Kyra happy and we can keep her at the club, because I think she's an important player for us, and she's already shown how good she can be. So yeah, it's an issue, but while we're winning games and while we're playing well, it's not going to be too much of a problem, I suppose, because no one's going to be saying we need to change the team while we keep winning. It's when the results aren't happening, that's when people start looking at what can we change, and maybe that'll be when Kyra gets an opportunity, or hopefully that won't be because of that. It'll be because it's another competition, the Champions League or something, and she can get minutes and prove that she deserves a run in the team. But let's see. I'm sure it's only temporary. I'm sure she'll be back. Angie's well said, it's good to see you. It's good to see you on the vlog as well, as always, which is very, very good. Colin says here, if anything loses us points, it'll be our goalkeeper's weak distribution. I don't know. I mean, yeah, there was one or two iffy moments at the weekend, but I think overall, I don't think that's our biggest problem. I still think our biggest problem is transition when we lose the ball. We're very open at times, and it's going to cause us problems against the better teams. It caused us one or two problems on Saturday, didn't it? Terry says 1 million down the drain. Olivia Smith scores again. Indeed. Rendition says Claire Wheatley needs to go. Disappointing window. We need an Andrea Berta version for the women. Well, you say it's a disappointing window, and yes, I think the players we brought in. We said this last week. I know you wasn't on the show last week, but the players we brought in have been very good, and our players that we needed, we didn't maybe do enough business. We didn't bring enough players in. But what you got to look at it is that the men's team, they've spent a lot of money on the men's team this summer, haven't they? In fact, it looks like what they've decided to do was, okay, yes, they've put £1 million into Olivia Smith for the women, but they've looked at it and thought the men's team needed that investment, and they did. So they've gone all out, haven't they? That's probably the most players that we've bought in one window for a very long time. And they've gone out and done it for the men's team. And you've got to think, was there enough money left? Is that just Claire Wheatley's fault? Was there money left over to be able to invest as much in the women's team as we wanted to? I'm not sure if there was. And I'm not sure if that's just down to Claire Wheatley. I'm not saying Claire Wheatley is the best the person for that job. I'm not saying that. But in this particular window, is it all on her when the club have invested so heavily in the men's team this time? They've invested well in the women's team in the last few windows. Maybe this was the window to invest in the men's team, and maybe that's what they've done with the budgets that they've got. I don't know. But I don't know. I mean, what do you make of it? Do you think Claire Wheatley's the problem there, Andreas, or do you think that maybe it's a bit of the club? It's not just Claire Wheatley, is it? Claire Wheatley's got to get a go-ahead from above her to be able to bring players in. I'm not saying she's necessarily the right person, but I don't know. Do you think the problems are bigger than her, or do you think she's part of the problem with the lack of signings?
difficult to say. The last transfer windows were not good. But on the other hand, you have to see we spent £1 million for 4 players. Yeah, of course, Olivia Smith cost us 1 million, but the other 3, Taylor Hines, Chloe Kelly, Anneke Borbe, came as free agents. And and in the last transfer windows, we said they were not the best, but we got Mariona for free, we got Leslie Russo for free. So this is also Claire Wheatley's work, and I'm not fully convinced by her, but we discussed it last week, and we said we should have done more. And this is still my opinion. We should have done more, especially with having won the Champions League, and being more attractive to players than ever before. So 1 or 2 signings more would have been good, but the 4 signings we did were what we needed, and once again, getting 3 players for free is also good business. And it's not only Claire Wheatley. I'm sure Renee was also in the discussion, and Renee said, I want players for, I don't know whether she says names or she said players for the following positions. And then it's a discussion from a team. And we will see how the first part of the season goes, and what we do if we do something in the winter window. I mean, one thing is clear: the strategy of the club is we want to win trophies with the women's team, and we want to build on a successful Champions League season. Not so successful for the domestic competitions, but we want to build on and pave the way for women's football. So at the moment, I'm optimistic that we are on a good way, and let's see how the first half of the season develops.
Yeah, I think that you're right. Actually, you make a good point about the free transfers that we've brought in, because we brought in some very, very good players, and we've got them for free. And actually, you could say that actually is better business than paying 50, 60 million for the players that the men's team have bought. We've actually bought some top quality players. Leslie Russo and Mariona are 2 of the best players in the world, and we got them both for free. And that is actually amazing business. And if Claire Wheatley was part of the process that delivered that, then you've got to say she could be the best football sort of transfer director in world football to pull that off, as well as Chloe Kelly for free as well now. So it's I suppose you've got to look at it 2 ways, haven't you? The club's only got so much money that they can invest in the women's team, and we've got to make the most of that budget. And I think we look at the squad that we've got overall, look at the players that we've got. We haven't done a bad job, have we? And Claire Wheatley's been a part of that. She's been a part of the process of bringing these players in. So I don't know. I think it'd be unfair just to criticise Claire Wheatley. Well, to criticise anybody at the minute. We're champions of Europe. We've just won our first game of the new season quite comfortably. First time we've won our first game for a few years as well. We've got a great group of players, and we've got a very good manager. And I think that this isn't the right time to be criticising the people behind the scenes, because they've got us in this position as well, haven't they? They've been part of that process to get us where we are. I never thought 2 years ago, who would have thought we'd have won the Champions League? Nobody. No one would have thought we could do it, really. And now look at us. Do you know what I mean? So I think I think them free transfers are actually, and that is a really good point, because I think that is fantastic business. That is really good business. And when you look at the men's team, we've sold, apparently the men's team, I think we sold something like 12 players, and we've raised less than 10 million from 12 players. That's terrible business. Terrible business. And yet the women are doing great business. Have we done enough? We don't know. We'll see at the end of the season, won't we? Or in January. If we haven't done enough, we haven't won what we wanted to win. And if we have won it all, or what we've won the WSL, then it was a great transfer window, wasn't it? It's difficult to judge it now. If we win everything we want to win, it'll be the best transfer window ever, won't it? And if Olivia Smith ends up as, player of the season or whatever it is, we'll be quite happy with that, won't we? So, and Chloe Kelly's going to be great. So, come on, let's not judge anybody yet. It's one game into the season, and we are the champions of Europe. So, you know, let's enjoy that while it lasts, because it might, you know, we might be in a position to criticise everybody in a few weeks, few months' time, maybe. But at the moment, I don't want to do that because I don't think it's fair. Joe says, I think Reed was the natural defender against Goodwin. As she has the pace to match it. Yeah, I thought she had a really good game. Yeah, absolutely, she did. And says, yeah, there's Cody too. Yeah, Cody's a defender, not been playing either. Actually, she's been sort of down in the pecking order, hasn't she? You know, the fact that Katie Reed came in above her, experienced player. Like that, so that you know, but goes to show the faith that she's got. And says Stina 6 minutes and 6 minutes on and boom, exactly. Not the first time we've seen that, is it? Matt is with us. Says, evening everyone. I hope everyone's good and well. We're doing very well, my friend. Good to see you. Colin says Stina's a box player. Alessia is all over the pitch. Yeah, but I think Alessia's all-round plays improved. Stina's all-round plays improved. Obviously, Alessia is ahead of her, I think, in everything else. I still think Stina's a better goal scorer, and I still think if Stina played as a number 9 as often as Alessia Russo does, Stina would score more goals. But overall, as an overall player, and I don't really doubt Alessia Russo is a much better football player overall. But yeah, you know, it's we're lucky to have them both. Someone said that before. We're lucky to have them both, and we are lucky to have them both. Let's be honest. Not many. Well, hardly anybody's got 2 strikers like that, have they? Let's be honest, that can do what they can do. So I think that's a good thing. Oh, hang on, we've got loads of comments coming in actually, which I'll have to try. Hang on, where are we up to? Where are we up to? Where are we here? Oh, hang on. Here we go. Sorry. Greg says Arsenal's only got 850. However, 850. Well, I know it's obviously a smaller stadium, but 850 doesn't seem many. I'm sure we'll have a lot more than that in there, though. We'll probably have most of the crowd as we normally do. LG says sell Mead next season and get Rodman. Imagine Smith and Rodman either side of the wings. Well, that would be good, I'm sure, but. Not sure. And says 2 different styles of forward, but blessed. Oh, yeah, there you go. You're blessed to have them both. Exactly, we are blessed to have them both, no doubt. And says Trinity, thumbs up. No for Rodman. No, you wouldn't want. I think Trinity Rodman's a good player. Terry says, "Look, Lord, doing an impression of Freddie Starr singing Vincent." Oh, with the thing over his shoulder. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Rendition says, "I think Rodman's contract's up in November." Maybe January window. Well, we'll see. Yeah, interesting, because obviously the American season runs through, it stops at the end of the year, doesn't it? So there's an option there. Greg says Russo to win the Ballon d'Or. Well, maybe she will. I think it might well be an Arsenal player. LG says, I heard someone say Frida is like Marino. They don't dictate and influence games enough as midfielders, not ball carriers or elite creators, but they seem very good finishers. That's spot on. I don't know. I think Frida is underrated actually all round. I wouldn't really compare her to Marino. I just think, I don't know. I like Frida, and I think Frida offers a lot. Okay, yes, she isn't a ball carrier, and she isn't a top creator of chances. I don't know. I think that's a bit of a harsh comparison, because I think Frida's a better all round player than Marino is in the team, kind of thing. You don't compare them individually, because obviously men's football and women's football are so different. But I don't know. I can see where people are coming from with that, I suppose. But I don't know. I think Frida's underrated, I personally. Matty says Walty's gone. KCC has to get more game time now. Sure, yeah, you'd imagine. But judging from Saturday, she didn't even come on the pitch. So I don't know. Matthew says Renee likes the safety of little. KCC is more risky and goes forward more. Well, yeah, she does. And Vicky Pelova probably can do that as well, but she is much more structured, more solid, defensive, isn't she, Vicky Pelova? So I can imagine her getting a nod over KCC more. But yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Rendition says KCC is our best progressive passer in the team. Yeah, well, maybe, but if that doesn't suit the way we're playing or the opposition, that might be the problem. Greg says, I don't think KCC is solid enough while Aaliyah is out. Yeah, that could be part of it, actually. That's a good point. That is a good point. Maybe we do need a bit more defensive structure in midfield ahead of the defence, don't we? Because of Leah not being there. That maybe things will change when Leah's back. That's an interesting point, actually. That's an interesting point. We'll have to see what happens there. LG says, I have to be honest, I was not impressed with Vicky P at the 10. I thought she played well. She was not clinical enough to play in that position. and that's been an issue throughout her career. Play Frida or Mariona there. I mean, yes, I don't think Vicky's best position is in the number 10. I think she's actually better as a 6 personally. In the season 2 years ago before she was injured, I thought she was brilliant there. But I thought she played well there. Yes, I think Frida is probably better in that position than Vicky, but Vicky should drop further back. I think play a slightly deeper role, because I think that ball winning's good, distribution of ball is good. I don't know. I'd like to see her maybe there. What did you make of Vicky Pilova's performance at Andreas? Because I thought she played okay, but I don't think that's her best position in the team. I think she's better slightly deeper, personally.
Exactly, she played okay, and not brilliant, not extremely good, just okay. And I agree that the number 10 position is not her best position. I also would prefer Mariona in the number 10 role if you don't start Frida. Frida brings more offensive power. She's one that can shoot, and the link up between Frida and Stina is very good. Maybe that's the problem for Frida, that her link up with Leslie Russo is not as good as with Stina, and Leslie is the preferred number 9. I would like to see Vicky Pilova in a deeper role, maybe the number 8. But then again, who is our holding midfielder? Who is our number 6 without Wally? With Vicky on the number 8 position, and then Kyra, the number 6, and an unexperienced defender or centre back with Katie Reed. Maybe that makes us too vulnerable. But anyway, we have so many games coming, and of course, being flexible and being able to play in different positions. That's what Renee wants from the team, and so she's also trying Vicky as number 10, and maybe we'll see tomorrow Frida start at number 10, I think, and Vicky coming from the bench. But well, that's at the moment, it's a luxury problem for us. We have so many good players, and it's difficult to decide who should start, who is better in which position. We didn't have these problems in the last season, so I think we are lucky with the squad depth at the moment without injuries. One serious injury, but all the other players fit. That's really good, and let's see what Renee is trying to build with her squad.
Yeah, it's options, isn't it? I suppose we have got a few players who can play in different positions. Obviously Vicky's one. Mariona can play pretty much anywhere. You could play her anywhere in a team and she'd still be fantastic. And I would like to see her a little bit further forward. Personally, I thought she had a fairly quiet game, I thought, against London City at the weekend. She wasn't outstanding like she has been last season. I thought she was quite reserved. She was playing a deeper role, and maybe swapping her and Vicky round might have been a better option, potentially. But anyway, we can't have too many complaints, because we won the game comfortably and we played well in the second half in particular. So I don't know, but it's something Renee will, I'm sure Renee will have it in her head, the plans and stuff. And I think maybe different games we'll see players in different positions. So I think Vicky will probably pop up more deeper in some games. I think Mariona will be further forward in some games. Like you said, Frida will probably start in some games, maybe tomorrow. And I think that it's good to have all those options, isn't it? It's difficult to keep everybody happy, I suppose, but it's better to have all of those players that we can pick from, rather than just only have one or two that have to play every week because we've got nobody else. So it's a good problem to have. And yes, I think some of it's going to be, bearing in mind, Vicky was out most of last season, wasn't she? She wasn't available because of injury, and now she's back, and it's like, she's got to be considered to be one of our key players. But what's her best position in this team? I think a bit deeper as well. I agree that maybe number 10 isn't her best position. One something that says, big up Andreas and host, best show on YouTube. Oh, thank you very much. I don't know if it's the best show on YouTube, but I'm glad you enjoy it. Matty says, hot take, KCC can be a Declan Rice in this team. Let Little sit in the six and give KCC a box-to-box role. Slegger's got to make it happen. Well, I don't know. I mean, I do feel as though, although Renee's allows the players a lot more freedom, and we do play a very more expansive style of football. There's still got to be a structure, and Rene likes that midfield structure. And does it always work? No. Does it work most of the time? Probably yes, in the way that we play. I wouldn't mess with it too much. I think Kyra will get her opportunities, but I'm not sure if. I mean, I think Vicky Palova would be a better box-to-box player than Kyra, if I'm honest. But I don't know. Let's see how it plays out throughout the season. You know, Terry says KCC should go out on loan to the Spud. She would look good there. That's a little bit harsh, isn't it? Come on, Kyra's all right. Matthew says that we'll more likely lose points being caught playing around with the ball at the back. Well, yeah, that's probably true actually, because we didn't look comfortable the other day, did we, doing it? And we never tend to do either, do we? Matty says he says spot on to Matthew, and that's because without Williamson we can't progress the ball out from back. Well, not as well. No, absolutely. Leah Williams obviously a big miss, isn't she? And it's funny because, you know, she maybe hasn't had her best last couple of seasons, but when she's not there, you can see we can see how much we miss her, how important she is. So yeah, I can't wait for her to be back in the team. But let's see. LG says, who knew wingers could switch sides? Well, exactly, they can. Yeah, we do it quite a lot, don't we? And that worked quite well, didn't it? Terry says we should bring in the Brighton striker. What's her name? Oh yeah, Ajimang and Sel Russo. Oh, no. Definitely not Sel Russo. I mean, Ajimang's going to become a star, there's no doubt. But give her time. Give her time. She'll be fine. Matthew says we have seen left back Calafori end up as a striker. Arteta knows players have to take initiative. Well, yeah, I know, but I just think that the structure is more important to Arteta than it is to Rene. And I think we've seen that in the way that we play. LG says that £1 million for Liv will soon look like a bargain because the rate of women's transfers are going, clubs are going to spend £2 million or more on worse players. No, I agree with that, absolutely. And you're right. And I think that will... to be honest with you, I think I know £1 million is a lot of money in women's football. It's never happened before, but I actually think that £1 million is cheap anyway for her, for how young she is and how good she is and what potential she's got. £1 million is cheap for her, and I agree. I think that, you know, there will be a lot more money will be spent on players nowhere near as good as her in the next couple of years. Absolutely, there will be. Hopefully, Chelsea might waste a few money on some of them. That'll be good. Like, make their team a bit worse. That's what we want. But anyway, let's see what happens. What else have we got in here? And says, yes, Rich Frieda is very underrated. Good with her scoring legs. No, exactly. Yeah, no, you're right. I think she's quite underrated, really. I think she offers quite a lot. She's not the most brilliantly technically gifted player, and I think she admits it herself, but she's very effective and good at what she does. She scores a lot of goals, and yeah, I think you're right what you said before, Andreas, about she does link better with Stina than she does with Leslie, and that obviously has an impact because Leslie plays more games. So anyway, Matty says, I'm all for selling off the older players, but I can never think of players good enough to fit our style of play. Little Mead, Zinsberg all need to be replaced with quality players in their prime. Well, yeah, they do. You're right, and I think they will be, because that's, you know, we're a top club, and that's what we do. We've done it before. We'll keep doing it. So I'm not that worried about that, actually. I still think we'll be fine. But anyway, let's see what's happening now. Where are we? Matty says Vicky had an average game, to be fair, but she looked lost. Yeah, so I don't think that's her best position. I thought she did okay, but yeah, I'd rather see her a bit further back, where she can get maybe on the ball more, dictate things a bit better. But anyway, let's see what happens next few weeks. Joe says KCC cannot get straight swap in for Little, cannot be a straight swap for Little. So who covers for Kimmy? I'm not sure. Palova is it? See, I think Vicky Palova could be. I think she could be, but I don't know. Let's see. It's still a work in progress in many ways. KCC's still young. You know, Vicky Palova's still fairly young, and she's a bit more experienced, and it's Rene's job, isn't it, and the coaching staff to get that balance right in midfield. And I do think that's the one area of the team. I think up front we've got so many options. We're blessed with all of that. We can rest and rotate, and that's fine. I think defensively, I think we've got good players and we've got cover there. And yes, we could have done with maybe one more. I'd like to have seen a left-footed centre back, but in midfield, that seems to be where the balance and the blend isn't always right in games, and that could be what lets us down. But I'm not worried about it at the minute. But yeah, I do feel as though maybe something needs to work a bit better there. Matty says the chemistry is brilliant. We've got to build on that. I want that WSL title. I think we all do. I think we all want that WSL title. That's got to be the aim for this season, hasn't it? Nothing else will do, really. Although we'll take anything else too, but the WSL title's the one, isn't it? Let's see. But yeah, so overall then, a really, really positive start. And of course, for about 24 hours, we were top of the league, which was nice. And of course, then Man United went and won 4-0 against Leicester. So we kind of predicted that they might anyway. We said that last week, didn't we? They'd probably win that game comfortably, and they did. So no real surprise there. But, you know, the most important thing for us was 3 points. First game of the season, up and running. And yeah, it was almost the perfect start. The first 20 minutes needs to improve, and we need to be better from the start of games because that's been a problem before. But yeah, we sorted it out. We solved the problems that needed solving, and we won. Yeah, you rightly said that before. We could easily have won 6 or 7 goals in that game. Second half chances we had, and we couldn't get that third goal for ages. And of course, until Stina came on and said, "Right, I'll show you how it's done." And that was that really, and it sealed it all up, which was good. But of course, we can't. We can't just rest on our laurels and think, oh, well, we've won our first game, everything's great. We've got another game coming around quickly. We've got lots of games to come. And of course, tomorrow is a big one. It's a game that maybe we've not always found easy. West Ham away. Let's have a look at that. Now, this has proved to be a fairly difficult fixture for us in recent years, hasn't it? West Ham away. We've had a few struggles. I remember a 0-0 draw there a couple of years ago. We lost the game 2-1 there, didn't we, when we were 1-0 up. It's never been easy. And even when we've won there, quite often, it's been a struggle. You know, I can't remember going there in recent years and winning comfortably. It's always been a bit of a struggle. So I think it's going to be the same tomorrow. I do think it's going to be a difficult game. I'm not sure the Friday night games are always ideal, if I'm honest, particularly as it means we have to move our show, which isn't always great. But it is what it is. It's on Friday. It's a tough place to go, but I think we're looking good. Obviously, West Ham lost their first game to Tottenham, as we kind of thought they might. We did beat them recently in pre-season as well. I think anything other than an Arsenal win would be quite a shock, wouldn't it, really, I think, at this point in the season, even though we've had some struggles there. I mean, Andreas, how do you think the game's going to play out tomorrow? Do you think there'll be any changes to the lineup, first of all? And then how do you think the game's going to play out?
Changes in the lineup. I think the defense will be the same as it was against LCL. So this means Katie Reed will probably start, I think. In midfield, I think there will be 1 or 2 changes. Will KCC get a start? I don't think so. I think Renee will rely on the double pivot of Mariona and Kimi, and then Frida will come in as number 10. And for the attacking lineup, yeah, you can bring everyone from the 4 wingers, and it doesn't make a difference. Will she rely on Olivia and Chloe or Caitlin? I think she might bring Caitlin and Chloe in the starting lineup, and of course Leslie in the number 9. I think these 2 changes could happen. Caitlin and Frida in. Yeah, I think this is something I expect from Renee. I would prefer to let Olivia start again, because with this fantastic goal and the very good performance, her dribblings, her 1-versus-1 situations, she had this one volley and the ball was 5 centimeters near the post. So I would give her another go and start her again. Let's see, and hopefully we don't have to bring players from the bench to make the difference, but of course bring them on, give them minutes, but hopefully we are up with 2 goals or so at halftime. But anyway, I see I still remember the last game against West Ham in at Meadow Park, when they were 3-1 up against us, 2-0 and 3-1, and we like a miracle that we could turn it around and win 4-3, but that doesn't work every time. So don't let them be up with 2 goals again. And they still have Shakira Martinez and Vivian Asei, two very dangerous attackers, strikers. They rely a lot on set pieces, on corners. That's another reason why I think Katie will start again, because West Ham was strong against us, but also against other opponents in the second half of the season with corners and set pieces. So yeah, be careful and don't start with 20 minutes being sloppy and let them dominate. No, let's have a good start from the first second, be concentrated, be dominating. And when you look at the squads, we have the better squad, the better team. And I wouldn't say it would be a shock, but it would be disappointing if we let 2 points away, if we lose 2 points away at West Ham. And this could be 2 points which we are chasing Chelsea for a long time. So opponents like LCL and West Ham, still give them all respect, but these are opponents we have to beat, and where the 3 points must be ours. So I hope for another win tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a game that we should win, I suppose. Realistically, like you said, we've got a much better group of players individually. One against one in every position, we're stronger. So for me, there's no reason why we shouldn't win the game. But football doesn't always work like that. I'd say we found it very difficult going to West Ham. I know we won there last season, but again, the first goal took a long time, didn't it? It was a penalty, and I remember a couple of years before that when we won 2-0 again, but it was late goals that took a long time to make the breakthrough. So I'm expecting a tough game. I must be honest. I'm expecting a tough game, but yes, I think when all is said and done, we should prove too strong and we should get the points. And we have to get the points, because these are the games that if you want to win the league, you've got to go away to West Ham and win. No disrespect to West Ham. They've got some threats. They're a good team. Like you said, set pieces. I think we conceded all 3 goals at Meadow Park from set pieces last season, didn't we, against them? So we know how strong they are. But yeah, these are the games where you've got to win, quite honestly. If you want to win the league, if you want to be serious about challenging Chelsea go away to West Ham and win. We have to go away to West Ham and win. And it doesn't matter how we do it either. It'd be nice to play great football and score some amazing goals and win 5-0 would be fantastic. But all that matters really is the 3 points, isn't it? And let's hope that we can do what we did on Saturday and find a way to win, just start the game better. And that is something that's been too regular for me, starting games slowly, going a goal behind, or as we did against West Ham, 2 goals behind last time. So yeah, we need to start strongly. We need to be on it from minute 1. We need to get the first goal, get ourselves in front, and then we can build on it and hopefully win the game without too much stress and drama, because we don't want too much stress and drama, do we? Ed says West Ham will have a worldie goal. Yeah, they probably will. They always tend to do against us, don't they? That tends to be the way it goes. Greg says, don't worry about West Ham. They didn't look great their last game. We'll walk all over them. As long as she doesn't put Cheeseburger in just to give her a game. No, I'm sure Cheeseburger won't play. So he says, Ag, you could be right, but she probably will say stay until the end of the month. It's not. Oh, I see. Okay, talking about you going back to Spain. Ag says, thank God Arsenal girls are not as bad as Sweden men's team. So we will win. Well, let's hope so. Let's hope so. I mean, we should win. I'm not sure there'll be too many changes to the team, actually. Everybody being fit. The only one, actually, funnily enough, that I can see maybe changing is I'm not sure if Olivia Smith will start. I know she had a great game, but away from home, maybe it's that game where we just need to be a little bit more conservative in our setup. And Livy's very unpredictable in the way that she plays, and she's fantastic. But she may be a better player in this game to come off the bench to have an impact. Yeah, maybe that's what'll happen. I don't know. Maybe we'll go with the same team. But if there's going to be any changes, I can see maybe Livy being the one. Maybe Beth coming in potentially. She had a big impact from the bench on Saturday, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same team again. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same 11 at start. and that wouldn't be too bad because we've got excellent quality on the bench as we've seen. We need a score prediction though, Andreas. What is your score prediction for tomorrow night's game? What are you going with?
I'll say 3-1 to the Arsenal. The way we play and how many goals we are scoring, I think we should be able to score 3 against West Ham, but we conceded too many goals in all the last WSL games last season, and we conceded 1 against LCL, so this will happen again. But in the end, it's 3-1 to the Arsenal.
And 3-1 would be very good. We'll take that. That'd be a decent start to the season, wouldn't it? 6.7 goals scored. That would be really nice. I don't know. Yeah, potentially we've got the quality in the attacking line to score goals, and there's no doubt about that. I just think that every time we seem to play West Ham away, for some reason, we find it difficult to score. The goalkeeper, as Andy mentioned there, the goalkeeper tends to play well against us for West Ham. Whoever's in goal for him, we just seem to find it difficult to score there, and I don't know why, because it's the same size goals as any other pitch. But yeah, I think we'll win. I do think we'll win. LG says West Ham 1, Arsenal 3. I think we'll concede. Yeah, I think maybe some people say that as well. Vicky says 3-0 to the Arsenal. Need clean sheets. No, a clean sheet would be good. Terry says, come on, it's West Ham. I'm looking at 6-7 or 8-1. Wow, that would be good. I'm not quite sure if that'll be the case. Greg says we'll win 4-0, no problem. Well, it's good that everyone's confident, I suppose. Yes, I do think we'll win. I don't think we're gonna win by a big margin. I just think that this particular game is always tricky for us. I don't know. We've got the potential to get goals. I'm going to go 2-0. I want a clean sheet, so I'm going to go 2-0. And I think it'll be similar to last season's game. I think the 2 goals might come second half a little bit later on. But I think we'll win 2-0, and I think we'll be fairly comfortable in the end, even though it might be a bit of a slog at the beginning, as it tends to be anyway. Egg says, what time? Well, in the UK, the game starts at 7:30. So I don't know what time that'll be in. So I don't know if you're 1 hour behind us, 1 hour ahead of us. 1 hour ahead of us, probably, I would have thought. But yeah, so it's 7:30 UK time anyway, as a kickoff tomorrow. So yeah, join us for that. It'd be good. I'm sure it'll be a good game. It'll be exciting, and I'm sure we'll get another 3 points. Let's have a look at some of the other games then this weekend. Game day 2. Let's get some score predictors in because we didn't do bad last week. Obviously tomorrow night there's another game, isn't there? Manchester City at home to Brighton. Brighton, one of the dark horses of the league, really, aren't they? You know, they've got some good players. Obviously, they've got Michelle, so they're bound to score at least 4 goals. And Man City, of course, lost to Chelsea, had their moments in that game. Difficult start for them, of course. They should be favourites at home against Brighton. What are you thinking, Andreas? Man City against Brighton tomorrow?
Yeah, Brighton has Michelle and Rosa from us, so at least 2 good players. They also have Frank Kirby and good players in the squad, but Man City is a stronger team and they're playing at home, so it will be 2-0 to Man City.
Yeah, I think Man City will win, unfortunately. Although I think Brighton will give them a go. I think Brighton will give them a game and cause them problems, and I think Brighton will at least score. I'll go 3-1. I think Brighton will score and they'll be in the game, but Man City will obviously be too strong for them in the end. Joe's gone Arsenal 4-2 tomorrow. That'll be good. That'll be a good game, wouldn't it? If it's 4-2, enjoy that. I don't want to concede 2 goals particularly, but you know, if we win in the end, I'm not too bothered. But anyway, let's see. LG's gone Man City 2, Brighton 1. Yeah, that's something like that. I wouldn't be surprised. I think Brighton will give them a good game. Vicky says City win. Brighton struggled last week. Yeah, they did. Terry says Adjumang hat-trick. That'd be good, wouldn't it? That would be good, actually. We like that. We said that last week because he didn't score. But anyway, of course, there's no games on Saturday. So all the other games are on Sunday. And this is a big one, actually. Aston Villa against Chelsea. Aston Villa away for Chelsea. I think that's a tough game for Chelsea, actually, this early in the season. I mean, I thought they did all right last week. They're a bit hit and miss. They had their moments. They won the game, tough game to start with. And they never looked like they was going to lose. But I don't think they played brilliantly. Aston Villa, again, they've got good players, haven't they? They've got decent players. I think this could be a tough game for Chelsea. So what are you thinking, Andreas? Can Aston Villa do us a big favour and take some points?
It will be a challenge for Chelsea. And they have a few injuries. Lucy Bronze is still out. Lauren James is out. Myra Ramirez not available for the first half of the season. But You could see that Ali Carpenter had a great game against Man City, and Aggie Beaver-Jones scoring in. Maika Hamano, she extended her contract. I think she's also a very good player. So yeah, it will be difficult for Chelsea, but in the end they will find a way to win, and it will be 1-0 as so often. 1-0 to Chelsea, unfortunately.
That wouldn't surprise me. I must be honest. That wouldn't surprise me. I do think Chelsea will win. LG's gone. Villa 0, Chelsea 3. Unfortunately, Chelsea always win big away at Villa. Again, I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, Joe thinks that it might be 1-1. Look at that. Wow, we'll take 1-1, wouldn't we? We'd love a 1-1. That would be good. But I can guarantee you one thing. If it's 1-1 with like a minute to play or stoppage time, Chelsea will score. They'll get some lucky goal at some point. So they'll end up probably winning 2-1. In fact, I think they're going to win 2-1 anyway. I'm not sure if it will be quite so dramatic as that, but I do think they'll win. But yeah, I think that'll be 2-1 to Chelsea, unfortunately. But who knows? I'm praying that Villa might be able to do us a favour and get a draw at least would be nice, wouldn't it? And if they could beat them, well, that'd be incredible. The next game could be interesting. Leicester against Liverpool. Obviously, Liverpool had a big defeat, didn't they, in their first game last week? And obviously, Leicester had a big defeat as well against Manchester United. So two teams that need a change. Well, obviously, one of them, at least one of them, is going to pick up some points here. What do you think, Andreas? Or will it just be a draw, maybe?
Leicester is the team who will struggle the most against relegation, and Liverpool, they lost their best players, and they have a manager I don't rate very much. So it's no surprise for me that Liverpool is also struggling. But yeah, they have the better team compared to Leicester. But being away and having this heavy defeat against Everton in the Merseyside derby, it could be a 0-0. Let's say 0-0 and a boring game from both.
Okay, well, I feel sorry for anyone that's going to that. If you are going to Leicester versus Liverpool, let's hope it's a little bit better than Andreas has predicted for you. But that wouldn't surprise me, actually. Two teams with obviously bad starts to the season. No one wants to lose their first two games, do they? And I think overall, both teams would probably be quite happy with a point because at least they've got something on the board. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was a draw, actually. I don't like to predict 0-0s because I don't like 0-0 draws. I'm going to go 1-1 and think at least there'll be some goals for you to watch if you are going. Joe says Leicester 0, Liverpool 1. Yeah, maybe. Liverpool are more likely to win than Leicester, I suppose, out of the two. But yeah, I think more likely a draw in that one. The next game, really interesting, is London City Lionesses at home to Manchester United. Now, I think this is interesting because obviously London City Lionesses, we know they've got great players. They didn't quite gel as a team against us. They ran out of legs in the second half in particular. And obviously Man United have lost today in the Champions League qualifier, the first leg, played tonight. So they've got to come straight from that. Not much turnover. They've got to fly back. They've then got to travel to London. I think they've got that's a tough. We've seen what that's like when you do that in the Champions League qualifiers, and then you're playing a tough game in the WSL. I've got a feeling this could be a bit of a banana skin for Man United, with all things considered. I mean, they had a good win last week, but I think this is totally different kettle of fish for them. I mean, what do you think, Andreas? Do you think London City Lionesses can get their first points of the season against Manchester United?
I mean, it's the most difficult situation that's possible for Man United. They were away in Norway. They lost 1-0 to Brann. They have to concentrate on the second leg to reach the Champions League league stage. That's next week. So their minds will be in this Champions League game against Brann, and then concentrate on an away game at London City. It will be difficult, and I think the more weeks go by, London City will gel better together. They will find their rhythm, and if it was maybe 3 or 4 weeks later, I'd say London City can win this game. But we saw on Saturday their problems, and that they were, as their manager said, they were not existing in the second half. Maybe Grace Gioro can play, and the others, will find better connections together. It's a difficult one for United. Oh, yeah. Well, if one of both teams will win, then it will be United. But I could imagine that we'll see a 2-2 draw, and this would help us too, because in the end, United is one of the big four, and the more points they are losing, the better for us. So yeah, an interesting game. If we see one team win, then it's United. But I say 2-2.
Well, yeah, 2-2 would that will be all right. The more points all these teams drop, the better it is for us, definitely. Joe's gone 2-2 as well in that one. That's seems to be a popular score. Vicky says London City are weak up front, but the goalie looked good. The goalie did look good, absolutely. She had a great game, didn't she? Especially in the second half, she made some good saves. So there you go. I don't know about this one. I think, yeah, you're right. We've seen the difficulty is when you've got those two legs in the Champions League qualifiers, and you've got to play a difficult game in between. I think last year, didn't we draw our game in between the two legs against Häcken? I think we did. I can't remember now. But we certainly didn't play very well in the league game in between, did we? So, and we lost the first leg as well. So that was a problem. Man United got a similar problem. I think London, their first home game as well. Yes, they haven't got any fans. We know that. But I don't know. See, I think they can beat them. I think I think this for London. It's good timing for them to play Man United this particular week with the issue that they've got. They're only flight. They only played today. They've got to fly back from Norway. They've only got a quick turnaround until Sunday's game. It's early kickoff on Sunday as well. I think London are going to win. I'm going for a 2-1 to London City Lionesses. I think that Man United will be more focused on the Champions League because they've got to win that second leg now. They have to go. They can't get knocked out. They have to win. So I think all their focus will be on that. They'll maybe rest and rotate their team a little bit for this game. And I think London City Lionesses have got enough quality players to. Would it be a shock? Yeah, I suppose it would. But I think they can do it. I'm going to go 2-1 to London City Lionesses. I think they might do it this week. Which will be a good. Vicky P says Lette not over. Yeah, the goalkeeper for London. Yeah, she was very good actually. She was really good, and she let in 4 goals. He still played well. And the final game, of course, of the weekend it's a foregone conclusion. This really isn't it? Everton at home to Spurs. Both teams, of course, won their first game. Obviously, having had a good win against Liverpool. Spurs, another derby, beat West Ham. So they'll both be feeling pretty good about life going into this game. I don't know. They're two teams that I think are quite similar in some ways. That they never quite do as well as you think they could with some of the players they've got. They always seem to underperform a little bit. Everton at home. I don't know. What do you think, Andreas? How do you think that one's going to play at Everton against Spurs?
I think Everton could be a team this season that surprises us. And the win in the Merseyside derby will be a confidence boost for them. They're playing at home at Goodison Park. Let's see. Spurs, they had a very bad season, but now with a new manager, they play a different style. We saw it in the friendly preseason game when they were pressing very high, and we had our problems with this. It could be a very interesting game, and I think Everton will have the better end for them. So I say 3-1 to Everton. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Everton at home, obviously, that's an advantage. Like you said, Goodison Park now is their new home, isn't it? So it's a big upgrade on where they used to play. So that's a plus for them. I don't know. You're right. Tottenham caused us a lot of problems, didn't they? And they did win their first game as well. I've been predicting pretty much draws all the way around this week. I think. Obviously, yeah, we'll go Everton to win. I think it'll be a tight game. I don't think there'll be much in it. I think Everton will probably. I'll go 1-0 to Everton. I think they'll just sneak it, mainly because they're at home, and I think home advantage does still count in the WSL. Rendition's gone there. London City Lioness is to be relegated, so we don't have to see Michelle Kane's mug on the broadcast again. Well, I don't think they'll be relegated, actually, unfortunately. I don't think they will. Ag says, London City Lionesses goal scorers, Lani and Jacobson. Yeah, Jacobson's a good player as well, actually. But there are more players than just Swedish players, you know. There are players from other countries that do count as well. Greg says, hope United do concentrate on the Champions League because we play them next weekend. Yeah, we do. But they'll already know their fate by then, won't they? They'll already know if they're through or not. So I don't think that's going to be so much of an issue for them next week because they're either through, in which case they're happy and relaxed and they won't need to worry about it, or they've been knocked out, in which case that might be a better result for us because maybe they'll be a bit down in the dumps. There'll be a bit of a negative atmosphere around the place and maybe we can take them. To be honest, we don't care. Whatever happens to Man United, we're going to beat them because we're going to beat everybody. So it doesn't matter, does it? Don't worry about United. I don't care what happens to them in midweek. We'll beat them anyway. Joe's gone 3-1 to Everton as well, so that's a popular score today, which is good. And says London City Lionesses will gel and cause some problems. No, you're right. They'll get better as the season goes on. Absolutely, they will. There you go. Ed says, Maya Tooney, please don't have a good game against us. No, she won't do because Leslie won't let her, so it's fine. Terry says Looney Tooney passed her best. I don't know. I think she scored last week, didn't she? But we shall see. Edition says SK Brun to knock Man United out, no Champions League again. That would be funny, actually. You're right. I think we'd enjoy that, wouldn't we, if that did happen? And we could laugh at them next week when we play them as well, which would be even better, wouldn't it? But I think they'll win. I think they'll go through. They'll probably end up winning 3 or 4-0 at home next week and go through, and it won't be a problem. A bit like our game against Hacken last season, wasn't it? I thought their game today was quite similar to what I saw of it. The Hacken game to what we had last year. We lost 1-0, but we maybe shouldn't have lost. And then we managed to beat them comfortably at home. I think it'll be the same, unfortunately. But anyway.
This season is different. If they go out against Brann, they will be in this second competition, the Europe Cup.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah.
And then I think they are massive favorite to win this Europe Cup. Maybe Frankfurt will go out against Real Madrid. They lost 2-1. But they're at least United would be one of the big favorites in this second competition. So whether it's good they go out against Brann or not, maybe it's better they play Champions League and lose a lot of games there in the Champions League.
That's a good way of looking at it, actually. That is a good way of looking at it. But either way, they're going to have all those extra games and all that extra travelling. So it's going to be a disadvantage to them in the league, hopefully. But anyway, I said we don't need to worry about Man U, do we? Because it's only really Chelsea that I'm worried about in the league, if I'm honest. It's only really Chelsea. What I want Chelsea to start losing a couple of games early on. Maybe on Sunday against Aston Villa, that'd be good. But I think that's what we need. I think if we can get an advantage over Chelsea early in the season, if they lose a game in the first 2 or 3 weeks, we can get an advantage, a 3-point lead over them. I think that's important because the last few years we've been playing catch up. Mm-hmm. And when you're playing catch up against Chelsea, it's so difficult because when they're in front, they know how to win it from being in the lead. I think whereas if we can get ourselves in front and get some advantage on them, especially ahead of when we play in them, we've got the opportunity to go even further ahead. I just think that's what we need to be doing. We need Chelsea to slip up a little bit early on. Hopefully, maybe drop points on Sunday and see where we go. But yeah, what we can't afford to do is let Chelsea get ahead of us early on in the season again because it's so difficult to pull them back, isn't it? It really is. But let's see what happens. Vicky says who'll be our centre backs tomorrow? Probably Katie and Steph, I would imagine. Would you agree with that, Andreas? Do you think there'll be any defensive changes?
Yeah, I don't expect changes in the defense.
No, not until Leah's back, at least, really. Or any other injuries that come along. I mean, I don't think our defence, I know we conceded a goal and we conceded a few chances. I don't think defensively was a problem last week, really. I wouldn't really change that because it sort of worked. You know, yes, playing it out from the back caused us a few issues as it tends to do anyway, but I didn't think defensively we were that bad last week. We weren't really troubled and we'll have to be strong against West Ham from set pieces, particularly, as we said, but I don't know. Rendition says Win at centre back. She's our best at sniffing out danger. The dog. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that'd be quite good. Yeah. Ag says, I hope you have a great weekend. Bye from Sweden. Yeah, see you later. Hopefully you'll be with us for the game tomorrow if you can. That'd be nice to see you if you are. We had that one there. Joe says, Martinez is quick, so Reed will be our best choice. Yeah, but I think she would have played anyway. But yeah. Vicky says, Katie have a lot of Woober Moy and Leah. Well, Leah, if you mean Leah Williamson, she's injured, so she can't play anyway. And obviously, Katie was picked over Lotta last week. And I can't see that being a change, to be honest. So yeah, I think it will be the same. I won't be surprised if it's the same 11 actually. Maybe Olivia out for Beth, maybe, I don't know. But anyway, we'll see what the team will be. Whatever 11 start for Arsenal, whatever 11 finish for Arsenal, we should be good enough to win against West Ham, let's be honest. But we've seen it before. Football doesn't always work like that. We've had a few struggles there in recent years, but I'm sure this will be our night on Friday. And it's good in a way to I know I don't really like the Friday games particularly, but one, it's an advantage because we're playing ahead of Chelsea. So if we win, that puts I know it's early in the season, but it puts a little bit more pressure on Chelsea because they won't want to drop behind us, and they've got a tough away game as well. So I think that's an advantage. And also as well, it means that when we do win tomorrow, we can enjoy the weekend and relax and not have, oh my God, we've got a game Sunday, and you worry about it on Saturday, and it's in the way of your weekend. But on Friday, the game's done out of the way. You can enjoy the weekend and you can relax and watch some of the other games, and you don't care so much because you've got the 3 points. So if you lose, obviously it's not good, but we're not going to think about that. So it's got its advantages as long as you win. So we have to win. So come on, girls, make sure you do the job for us tomorrow. I'm sure you will, and kick the weekend off in the best possible way, because that's what we want to see, don't we? So yeah, it's been a positive start to the season. I think we've got to be happy with how things are right at this moment. Sitting here right now, we're champions of Europe. We've got 100% record in the league. We've scored a few goals. We've got the player of the moment in Olivia Smith. So I think we can all be pretty happy with life at the minute, and let's hope it continues for a long time yet, because there's a lot of games to play. I mean, Andreas, have you enjoyed the first week of the season overall? Was it a good start for you? Obviously a good win for Arsenal, but overall, I mean, obviously the WSL's back, all the games across the league. Do you think it was a good start to the season? Obviously, building on the back of England winning the Euros again, I think it needs to be a good season. There were some decent crowds at some of the games. Did you think it was a good start to the season?
A good start for the season, yeah. And for us, of course, the 3 points and 38,000 attendance at the Emirates against a newly promoted team that which doesn't bring many fans from themselves. So that was also a good start, and yeah. Interesting results with Everton winning against Liverpool. Of course, a good game between Chelsea and City, 2 title contenders. Yeah, it was overall a good start, and yeah, I think we are all glad that the season is on its way now, and yeah, it's fantastic to have now every weekend exciting games, and yeah. Looking forward to the game tomorrow, and then another tough challenge at Manchester, and then in 2 weeks I'll be back in London for the home game against Villa, and yeah, that's what we all want, game after game, and the season is back. Yeah, I'm really glad about this, and I enjoyed the first match week.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good to have it back, and of course the Champions League draws next week as well, isn't it? So that's going to be good. Yeah. Interesting to see who we get. Of course, this year not having a qualifier has been great as well. So we can look forward to the group stage draw next week as well. So that'll be good. See how that works out. We're the holders, so we can be excited about our competition this year. See how far we can go. Can we do it again? I'm not sure. Will be interesting to see. Vicky says at Leia Cadena, it's been so long she's forgotten. Yeah, she's almost forgotten. I mean, we did mention a bit earlier, but no, you're right. I think she's got a mistake in her, but I think she's a decent player. But I wouldn't play her tomorrow. There's no need to change it, is there? There's no need to change that unless there's injuries, which Renee said today there isn't any injuries. So there you go. Joe says, great show, boys. Coming, you guys. Thank you very much for joining us again. LG says, Man City's Achilles will be playing Viv at number 10. She's too lazy to play in a luxury player. If she doesn't score, she doesn't contribute anything. We saw that against Chelsea. She's a number 9. There are a few controversial comments. I wouldn't necessarily disagree with a lot of it. She seemed to want to play number 10 for Arsenal, and she had a few games there, and was that her best position? She scored more goals as a number 9, of course. Is she a luxury player? To a certain degree, yes, I agree with you. If she doesn't score, she doesn't contribute anything. Well, yeah, I don't know. I still think she does, but I don't know. I don't know, really. I mean, I don't think Viv's the player she was a couple of years ago. I just don't think she is. I think her injury, she's never really recovered from that, truly, I don't think. And I don't, looking now, sort of nearly 2 years down the line, I don't think she'll ever be the player she was before the injury. Not so much physically, I think maybe mentally in her head. I don't think she's as strong mentally as she was, and I think that's had a really big impact on her. She even said it herself. So I don't think we'll ever see the Viv that we enjoyed, which is now she's left Arsenal. That's a good thing. We don't want to see a great Viv at Man City scoring 50 goals in a season and helping them to win titles, do we? From a personal perspective, I don't want her to have a bad career. I want her to do well, and I want her to play well, and I've still got a lot of good feelings for her, but she's not playing for Arsenal now. So if Man City struggle and if she can't reach the best form of her career, I'm not going to let it bother me too much. But I don't wish her any bad things, and let's hope that she can find some form again. But I don't think we'll ever see that Viv again. The Viv that we had 3 or 4 years ago, we'll never see that Viv that was just probably at that time she was the best player in the world, wasn't she, by quite some distance, I think. And but anyway, we'll never forget all that, will we? Vicky said Viv went missing against Chelsea. Yeah, she did to a certain degree. We didn't really see much of her in that game, did we? Greg says 38,000 for us to put the rest of the WSL crowds, and they just about exactly had them all together, and they don't even reach what we had. I don't think you're right, and that's going to be the case quite a lot of times, isn't it? And so centre back will be interesting. Well, it will be when Leah's fit again, won't it? In a minute, absolutely. Because there's a lot of options. Kat says, "Are you sure we can beat City with one game a week with that attack?" Yeah, of course we can. We can beat anybody. They can beat anybody. And says, "Greg, our supporters are the best." They are the best, of course they are. They're the biggest, the loudest, the best. What more can you want? LG says, "Can't Cody play a DM?" She can play it. Maybe she can. It's just, will Renee play her there? I would say no, would be my guess, but who knows? I'm sure she can play there. She's a decent footballer, Cody. So yeah, I won't be surprised, but let's see. LG says Viv's peak was 2017, 2020. Yeah, it was. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't think we'll see that again, probably anywhere. But anyway, and says really like Cody. Yeah, I think we all do. Yeah. There you go. And says right now, it was great to catch up. Indeed, it's been good to see you, Andrew. Hope you're well. Obviously, we'll see you again soon, I'm sure. So yeah, the first weekend's over. The second weekend is about to start. An early start for us, of course. Friday night game against West Ham. We are going to enjoy it. We'll be here, of course, for that 7:15 kick. Well, 7:30 kickoff. So we'll be at 7:15 to bring you the game. Hopefully, you can join us because it's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you to everyone for watching tonight. I see some great comments as well. Give us some good conversations to have as well, which is what it's about. So thank you for joining us tonight, which is always good. Hopefully you'll be around tomorrow for the game. Andreas as well, of course, good to have you with us again. And have you enjoyed the show? Looking forward to the weekend?
Yeah, of course I did. It's always great to talk about the last game, to look forward to the next game. Yeah, just to discuss everything with the Arsenal family. I love it. And thanks to everyone who watched my vlog. 400 viewers so far. Everybody who hasn't seen it, please look into it. Really nice interviews with fellow Gooners, and the goodbye for Leah was in. Yeah. Looking forward to the next game and to all our shows that are coming. I think next week, Friday.
Yeah, next week will be Friday again. Yeah, we're back to normal next week due to no game on a Friday for us, which is good.
Okay, yeah.
And I've got nothing else planned. So yeah, next Friday we'll be back with a normal time for the normal show. Of course, we'll be looking back on the West Ham game, hopefully looking back on another win. And of course, Man United next week. That's a big game, a tough game. So we'll look ahead to that one as well. And of course, the Champions League draw as well. We'll talk about that. We'll look at who we've got, who we haven't got, who Chelsea have got. Are Man United even going to be in it? We'll find out, of course, in the week when they play their second leg. So lots to look forward to. Another big week coming up, of course, and we'll be here for it all. Greg says, night everyone, great show. Don't expect anything less from you guys. Best Arsenal show I've had. Oh, thank you, my friend. That's good. Thank you for your support as well, and everybody else as well that watches this show every week. It's grown a lot over the last few years, which is good. And we are, of course, nominated for the Football Content Awards as well. So if you do want to vote for us, if you go onto their website, you can vote for us and see if we can. Who knows? We might win an award. That'd be great, wouldn't it? Anyway, that's down to you guys voting for us because we can't win it without a vote. So we've been nominated, so you can pick us. We're in there. And you can vote for us. Vicky P says, thanks both, great show. No, thank you guys for watching. It's you guys that make the show actually what it is, to be honest. The fact that you're always here every week, you give me comments and all that kind of stuff, getting involved. That's what we like. That's what we want. So it's great that you're all with us. And hopefully as the season progresses, we'll see more and more people joining us as well. I'm sure we will because, that's how it goes, isn't it? Terry says, great to be back. I missed you two legends and Greg. Take care. See you all soon. Yeah, it's good to see you back, my friend. I hope you're well. I know you've been busy through the summer. We've all been busy through the summer, haven't we? That's what the summer's for, to, maybe put football to the back of our mind for a few weeks and concentrate on other things in life. And then, of course, it all starts up again and the excitement comes back to it and you can't wait for the games. Matthew says, adios all. Indeed, we'll see you soon. Vicky P says, thanks both, great show. Thank you very much for joining us. LG says, take care, guys. Yeah, and yourself, I say, well, hopefully we'll see you tomorrow for the game if you're around. 7:15, I'll be here for the bit of build-up, the team news, and then, of course, we'll get into the game. West Ham away. Another 3 points incoming for Arsenal. They start the weekend off in the best way possible that we want, which is, of course, to get that victory and stay. Well, we will be top of the league, won't we? Because if we win tomorrow night, we'll definitely be top of the league going into Saturday, until Sunday, because Man City and Brighton both lost their first game. So whoever wins that, if we win, we'll be top. So no one can catch us. So we're going to be top. We're going to stay top, and we'll still be top in May. Don't you worry about it. We're doing it this year. We will be winning the WSL. So thanks for joining us. Obviously, thanks to Andreas as always. Thank you to all you guys as well for joining us tonight. Hopefully, we'll see you tomorrow for the game. And of course, in the meantime, come on, you Gunners. Let's do it. Let's get those 3 points. Let's go. See you tomorrow, guys.
Bye.